Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the operational costs of running a bar here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Now this can actually be quite a lucrative business in my opinion, if done properly, but there are several things that are quite different from how it's done in the West that you have to keep in mind. First off is alcohol. Like you can't really call yourself a bar if you don't have alcohol. Now that obviously is the same as in the West, but how you get it here can be a bit different. So initially, when we got started, we went to Macros, which is a big supermarket here that sells everything. Now, if you want to check out more details about my initial startup of the bar, you can check out my previous video. But we ended up getting everything we needed to get started. And since then, we've been kind of filling the ranks of what we need to add or what we just need to replenish from what we used the previous night. Now that we're up and running, we end up needing to restock almost every day, spending on average from 2 to anywhere 7K, depending on the night before, on what we need to get, or if we want to add new products to the menu. For reference, over the last week, we've spent 20,000 baht on alcohol alone. Now we could go to Macro every day and pick up the alcohol and bring it back ourselves, but there are multiple different local shipping companies that you can simply message your order to, and they will deliver the alcohol to you that night. Now these companies are not all the same. They don't have the same items or the same price lists, so make sure you look around to see what you can find. For instance, for us, since we have draft beer on tap, the one that we usually go with to get the majority of our alcohol from, who is in the area that our bar is, does not have draft beer. And one that is farther out of the city actually offers draft beer. And so what we mainly order from that one is simply draft beer and then everything else we get from the other people. The other big thing that we're having an issue with is storage. Now this is a big bar, but we don't have a lot of storage. The majority of our alcohol is all stored behind the bar. So we have to make sure that we don't order too much, and also we don't order things that we don't think will sell in the long run. So that's a bit tricky too, where we can't have a large inventory because we simply do not have the room for it. The second big thing that makes this bar a lady bar are ladies. Without ladies, you're not a lady bar, you're just a bar. But finding people to work is very, very difficult. Now my partner takes care of all of that, as obviously she speaks the language and it just makes it a lot easier, but she's having a heck of a time trying to find people to actually come in. And what we found is this is a big bar. And even if we have 5 or 6 girls here with customers, it still looks pretty empty. And so what we think we need is around 7 to 10 girls, and then hopefully that'll make it look full enough to actually attract new customers. But we can actually see a direct correlation in the numbers between when we have fewer girls to when we have more and the amount of money we make. So it really is down here. It's really all about if you have a lot of girls, then you make some money. Now again, as I said, like my partner's having a lot of troubles finding these girls. And so we ended up having to do is she posted on message boards and Facebook and wherever, and we actually found a bunch of girls who usually work in the more traditional style Thai bars or work as models for different agencies. And they actually come here, and we spend 500 baht a day to pay them to come here and work for us. Now that makes things tricky because they've never worked in this style of bar before, but that does help because if without them, we would not be open. So these girls usually work 5 to 10 days on any certain gig, and then they book the next gig and they go to that one. So we've had some girls come and go, but we've had a few that have stayed for a long time. Now in order to get them to stay longer, what we wanted to do is we offered them, as of course we offer lady drinks, we offered them tips from those lady drinks. That's something that they don't get at the other bars, because the majority of other bars that they work at, if you order a drink, they simply drink, they sit with you and drink, and then they just serve the rest of the customer. So when we said that we would give them money for the lady drinks that they receive, they're really excited. Many of the girls have actually said to us that they want to come back and work here full time because they like working here and because they're making money. So that has really benefited us by allowing them to see that they can make more money here, work in this style of bar, and we're making money off of lady drinks has really encouraged them to come back. So we hope next month that we'll have at least 5 to 7 girls who are full time, and then still bring in a few girls here and there to add to the numbers. But if you are looking at opening a bar in Thailand, finding staff is the hardest thing. I hear it from everybody around that they're really struggling to find anybody to work in this area and as well down in Pattaya. And the third thing is just the extras. You know, we have 2 salaried bartenders as well who need to be paid, obviously. And so we pay each of them 12,000 baht a month. Now this month we didn't work a whole month, so it's just day rate. But next month it will start being 12,000 baht a month for both of them. They can get tips as well if people decide to tip them, and that's fine. But they are salaried at 12,000, so we have to pay that either way. And then the extras, you know, the things that you don't really think about when going into a bar, you know, like the miscellaneous stuff like toilet paper and cleaning supplies and, you know, mint and limes and all that stuff. And the other big one is advertising. We need to get people into the bar, so we're having to print out flyers and make posters and banners and do different promotional ideas to actually get people to know about our bar, because I don't think a lot of people in the area really know that we exist yet. And so hopefully once they do, they'll come here. And lastly is maintenance, just keeping the bar running, the different fees you have to pay, the different services you have to provide, getting rid of bottles, getting rid of garbage, cleaning ladies, that kind of thing is the other last really big piece of the puzzle that makes this bar function. So I hope that gave you some insight into how running a bar here is. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Cheers.